Greetings, fellow Zambians, environmentalists, and mindset changers. Timothy Kamuzupiri here from Mizu Eco Care. Last farming season, we had a terrible drought, one of the worst droughts we've had in decades. It now seems like this farming season, we're going to experience another drought. All the signs seem to be pointing in that direction. I feel we should have prepared our farmers better this farming season because of what we experienced last farming season. Having said that, this is not the time for the blame game. This is time to see what best we can do to support our small scale farmers. As a country, I think we should consider the use of drought resistant seeds. The parts of the country that are capable and actually grow millet, sorghum, and cassava should be encouraged to grow these drought-resistant crops in abundance. We know they all have a potential to be a staple for our food in Zambia. Actually, before we had maize, millet, sorghum, and cassava were our staple. So there's nothing wrong with going back to these crops that we are already familiar with in terms of growing. We definitely need to look at a change in the field preparation techniques we have. We need to focus more on minimum tillage in most parts of our country where the rainfall is not enough. Actually, generally, minimum tillage and as little disturbance of the soil is far much more beneficial than disturbing the soil. We need to look at collecting seeds that we can use to grow as cover crops. We need to look at mulching methods so that we retain as much of the moisture that falls to the ground as possible. We need to look at the use of conservation basins and reaping, which is, of course, one of the methods we can use from minimum tillage. The northern half of the country often receives a good amount of rain. We need to look at the northern half of the country as the new potential food basket. What crops can be grown in the northern half of the country so that the rest of the country is food secure? Lastly, but not the least, Zambia has had one of the highest deforestation rates in Africa and the world for a number of decades now. And I don't think we've done enough to solve this problem. It's an emergency and has been an emergency for a long time. It is now time we focused on regenerating our forests and woodlands. If we lose trees, we definitely lose a critical component of our rainwater cycle. We need to find ways of regenerating our ecosystems. Tree planting is not enough. We need to give our forests a lifeline. They need to regenerate. Without forests, we will not be able to fight the shortage of rainfall that we're having. We will not be able to fight droughts. We will definitely not be able to collect enough rainfall for our rivers to sustain our dams. And it's these dams that give us our hydroelectric power. We need to fight the high deforestation rate that we currently have. It's a huge part of us fighting droughts. Thank you so much for listening, and we wish all our small scale farmers all the best during this trying time.